Hey guys, today we're here and we're reviewing this, the LEXUS RC350. Can I just say, what a gorgeous car, like especially in this color, the infrared. It's almost like a wallpaper. Now, not only is this car good to look at, it is good fun to drive, and we are here on a good stretch of road and we are definitely going to make sure that we take it for a good spin. But let's have a chat about the car itself. We are driving the RC350, which means it's got a 3.5 litre V6 engine, and boy does it make a good note. So it produces about 232 kilowatts, and to match the big engine in the front, Lexus has definitely thought about the aerodynamics, because look at that lining. It just not only doesn't make the car look good, but it definitely performs even better. The RC350 F-SPORT claims to have dynamic rear steering. So what that includes is the variable gear ratio steering. It's sort of like a gearbox. It acts like a gearbox at the steering column. So what that means is at low speeds and at high speeds, it can change the sensation of the steering wheel when you're turning, to give you that more direct and responsive feel. At the back, the Lexus has made a very, I'm not going to say conservative, I'm going to say elegant finish to the rear. No huge spoiler, no huge exhausts, nothing sticking out where it shouldn't. However, one thing that they have done is created an artificial sound creator. Why? It sounds so good to begin with. Now what this actually does is, using the sound system inside the car, creates an artificial exhaust note as you're driving. Thank goodness they've created a little control for this, so you can turn it off. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are driving the RC350 F-SPORT. Now, let's have a quick talk about the different models and the different grades. There's two different models, the RC300 and the RC350. Now, the big difference between these two is the engine size. The RC300 has a 2 litre turbo engine, whereas the 350 has a naturally aspirated V6. And this is where things get very interesting, because it produces a whopping 232 kilowatts. And that means that if I go like that, it gets us 0 to 100 real quick. The RC300 has a 2 litre turbocharged engine producing 180 kilowatts. The 350, 232. And between the two models, there is definitely a difference in how they drive. The car seems a little bit more balanced in the 4-cylinder, which is interesting because I find it more comfortable going around a corner in the RC300 as opposed to the 350. However, this is where it gets interesting. The 350 F-SPORT comes with the variable gear ratio steering, which makes the steering at high speeds and low speeds very tight. Very tight, very, and it becomes its own car. Now, with that does come the different driving modes, and of course the different driving modes determine the sort of driving that you're going to be doing and how the car feels on the road. You got Eco, you got Normal, you got Sports, you got Sports Plus, and you got Customized. Now, economy, that's economic driving, that's around city, you want to save a bit of fuel. Normal is, if you put your foot down on the accelerator hard enough, you'll jump into that sports ratio for the gearbox. Sports allows for later revving and makes that steering just a little bit more responsive. The next setting is what we've got in now, is the Sports Plus. And the Sports Plus, oh, this is a tight road, you big car. Now, the Sports Plus stiffens the dampers. Now, the car's got active variable suspension, and what that does is changes it from, normal suspension, and it takes in the bumps very nicely. And then the Sports Plus mode, it really stiffens it. It's like, it's not minute. I won't call it minute. It is noticeable. And in customize, this is where it gets interesting. You can have it in economy driving mode, but in sports suspension mode, which is a really good thing sometimes for city roads, because city roads are always, well, not always, a nicer feel to it. So going around corners, to minimize that roll around the car, it's always nice to have it in economy driving mode, because you can't race through the streets of the city. But going around the corner, you can take it just a little bit harder. I can't really show you guys, but this is a very rough road. And I have to say, this car is coping very well. Even on the suspensions tuned to sport. I do enjoy the RC350 a lot more. Like, that V6 growl, what an engine. What a car. Now, between the two different models, there are two grades. You got the luxury and you got the F-Sport. And here's the funny thing. Between the two, there aren't too many differences. They both come with leather steering wheel, leather seats. They both got heated and ventilated seating. You got height adjustment. You got knee support, so just the knees go higher and lower. Of course, your back reclines, and that's for the driver and passenger. It's fully electric seating. All your electronic safety gadgets, such as your blind spot monitor, such as your adaptive cruise control, lane assist as well, that's all standard. Your satellite navigation, this very nice clock in the center. Plenty of space in the rear. That's on both cars, obviously, it stays the same. Dual zone climate control, your touchpad for your screen in front of you. Now, on the F-Sport, you get a different styling kit, so you get the bigger wheels. On the RC300, the Mark Levinson sound system, only when you option it up with the sunroof. In the 350, it comes standard, so we don't have the sunroof, yet we still get the Mark Levinson sound system. In the 350 as well, you get these very nice hugging sport seats. However, the luxury is quite the sport seat to begin with, so much of a muchness there. And the RC350 F-Sport comes with that variable gear ratio steering. All these acronyms, there's just one too many. That's the two different models, that's the two different grades. We are driving the 350 F-Sport, the top of the line, without the sunroof, because you know what, on a day like today, and with a bold head like mine, I'm very grateful it doesn't have the sunroof. Because boy, is it a scorcher there. What a nice car. What a nice car. Oh, it just gets up to speed so nicely, so quickly. Sports Plus. And you know the one thing I found on the V6 engine is that it's got this lag. What I mean by lag, it's not turbo lag, it's nothing but an engine lag, and it really, like, now we're driving at 2000 RPM, and as soon as you hit 4000 RPM, the car just takes off. It's almost like it makes no sense. It's almost like a turbo lag, but it's a V6 lag. Obviously, that's something to do with a lot more smarter engineering than me. Like, just as an example, from a third gear pull, 3000, nothing, 4000, and whoa, the car just goes. What a car. Now, it needs to be said, it needs to be said, the gearbox. The gear... I hate to say this. I hate to say this. Because that's the one thing that lets down the RC, is the gearbox. Now, it's an 8-speed automatic transmission. And there's no other way to say it. It's laggy. It's dated and it's laggy. Lexus, please give us a better gearbox. It does not mean you can't have fun in this car. Now really, I just keep it in automatic mode. I do not put it in manual mode because it just doesn't have that same thrill you want from it. So you keep it in automatic mode. The car does its thing. It changes gears when it needs to. It downshifts when it needs to. And you can enjoy a car like this on a day like today. And this is what gets me. You can still have people sitting in the back. Like, yes, it's only a 4-seater, but someone my height, sitting in the seat like this, I could still sit behind myself. Now, I wouldn't recommend this for long journeys, no, because it does get cramped. And someone like my height, I'm 5'11", my head does touch the roof lining there. It's doable. And here's the thing about this car. You can use it as an everyday car. You put it back into sports mode, you drive normally, we're going 60 k's an hour, and it's an 8th gear, and it's just plugging along, saving the fuel, we're driving nicely, and the seat is comfortable. The seat adjusts in so many ways, and that's just the drivability, how smooth this car is on the road. Oh, it's just so good. You know what is? You can't get tired in this car. But on a road like this is where it comes into its own. With all the electronics and gizmos and gadgets all working together, it doesn't feel sedated by no means. It really feels like you got control of the vehicle. Now, in normal driving mode, the steering wheel, because it is an electric power steering wheel, you sort of feel separate to it. Now, to counteract that, what you really want to do is put the car into Sports Plus, and all of a sudden, yes, you know, you sort of have that more control feeling of the car, and that's really what you're after, especially on the road and on a day like today. What a car. What a car. Now guys, that is a wrap on the LEXUS RC350. And boy, what a fun car to drive. Especially on a day like today, on a road like this is definitely the car that you're going to want to have. Now if only they made this in a convertible. That would be a treat. What are my thoughts on the car? I think it's good to look at, fun to drive. As an everyday car, you can live with it. And you can still enjoy it on roads like this. And you know what? What more do you need from a little sports car like this? Now guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. I really hope to see you on the next video because we have some really cool videos planned. Now, I think it's time to enjoy the rest of this road.